Hey YouTube, I put this white ash log on here onto the sawmill, and when I cut the first flitch off of it, it had a little bit of a wave to the cut. It was good from there at the end down here, then it raised up a little bit here. So I need to sharpen the blade. So that's what I'm going to do now, and hopefully I can get some good video here for you to watch how I actually do it again. Okay, so I'm starting right here. There's a weld right here, and I want to start there. Yeah, they're kind of dull. And start sharpening here and dressing the saw blade up. Now, I haven't hit anything with this blade, and because I haven't, I don't need to set the teeth. So I'm not going to set the teeth. All I want to do is put a point, a sharp cutting edge on the tooth. So that's what I'm going to do here. Okay, so I use this grinder, it's an air grinder, and all I do is ride the back of the tooth. It gives me a real sharp edge there, and then I'll be taking a file and filing that off on the one side. Very sharp. See these here I'm running right over? This one here grabs a hold of my finger. So that's what you're looking for. You're looking for the blade that grabs your finger. So anyway, I'm going to try and keep my fingers and stuff out of the way here so you can see me doing this. All I do is hold the thing steady and make sure that this edge, let me just see if I can't hold you here a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. The edge of the blade here, right here, this one, it's shiny all the way through here. Okay? The next one you can see is dull because there's dust and stuff on it. You want to get this shiny, flat surface all the way through. So once you get that, you'll end up having a pretty sharp blade as long as you're feeling it. So, you know, while I'm rubbing my finger like right there, I've got a sharp blade. So I'm just going to use this tool. And sharpen the back of the blade. Now, when you're sharpening here, if you can't feel, like right here now where I just went isn't low enough, I got to sharpen a little bit more here. The second one, the first one and the second one are good. The other ones need more sharpening. Now, the ideal thing is to have this high enough so that when you're looking at it, you know, sitting here, that you can see the back of this really nice. Right now it's not high enough. I had to put some dirt here so I could get into the kiln, and it has me too low with the head of the saw, so I want to raise it up a little bit. Now that's the size it goes, so it's kind of stuck there. Well, anyway, let's see, 1, 2. 1, 2. Yeah, those are good that I have here down to this point. So normally I would sharpen all the way down to the wheel here, but the problem right now is I still haven't gotten my big air compressor fixed, and I need to use the smaller compressor, and it doesn't want to stay running. It loses air when you're, trying to run this tool. Oh yeah. See, I can run my finger over this tooth because I didn't sharpen this one, but I can't run it over these because it grabs a hold. Yeah. Yep. So as soon as it grabs the tooth, your finger, you're pretty much done with that tooth. Yep, that's good right to here. So I can bring this up here a little bit. Right here's the tooth I want to do because it's got the white edge on there. The camera's having a hard time zooming in on this close up here. Yeah, you can see on this one, you can see how shiny it is there. This one you can see how dull it is. So once you shine that edge up and then touch up the front here in the hook, that blade is just about as good as new. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have a machine that's making precise cuts for your cutting, well, that's going to be pretty good. But for me, doing this by hand, it works very good. I don't have any problems when I'm cutting, and right here, and it just seems to do a good job for me. So I'm going to keep going with this. Now when you're going through here, you want to run that cutter up through and off, but you don't want to pull away because you'll pull away from the tip, and you don't want to run over it because then you'll flatten it out. So you just got to glide straight off of it. Yeah. Now I'm working on a whole edge. I know the blade's thin and it's hard to do the first or second time you do it, but you want that whole blade flat all the way to the point, okay? The flatter that is, the more of a nice cut you're gonna get. Instead of being a point here, you have a nice flat face to cut with. That's what you want to have. And then this is just cleaning up that 10-degree angle. Oh yeah. right to here. Right here has to be sharpened. Now this is good there. So from here on, I need to take and sharpen a bunch more in the back here. Right from here. Yeah, when I have the other air compressor, it doesn't lose so much air, and I can do the whole blade pretty much, but this smaller air compressor, I have to fool with this a little bit. As long as it's grabbing a hold of my finger there on my way back, I'm going to have a sharp blade. It doesn't matter if you go, you know, if you're sharpening up, filing up with this, or filing down, just so you're filing the way it cuts. You can see the grain on that white ash. And just turn it over here. It's pretty nice looking all the way down through there. But right here where the first, where there was a knot, it's got a little bit of a bump in the cut. I can eliminate that by having a good sharp blade. See, what I'm doing there is when I pull this tool this direction, I'm forcing a little bit of steel to go over the edge, and once I cut it with the file, then that's where I'm putting the point on there, because it's sharp, you know, when I do it with the air tool. But if I don't clean it up, it'll get dull a lot quicker. I want a straight line, the thickness of the tooth, to be doing the cutting, and that's what I'm ending up with here. So it's pretty nice. I'm happy with it so far. I've been doing this for about 2 years now, and it's gotten to the point where I'm pretty good with it, and I don't have much trouble cutting. Okay, right from here. Oh yeah. Just so you know, what I'm watching for is the shiny face on this front edge here. That's what I'm looking to happen. Now when I, and I don't know if I can get the camera to zoom in tight enough, but you can actually see where when you're not getting a flat edge, you can see the black line on it, either at the top or the bottom, and you don't want that. You want to get that rid of that. And if you don't get rid of that, then you're not going to have the flat tooth in the front to do the cutting. So let me start back here. Where were we here? Yeah. So you got to watch, if you slide over the point, you usually dull it. Now I slid over this one and it's a little bit dull there. Sometimes when you file both sides, you can get it back to what it was. Yeah. So right here's the next one. Let's see if I can turn the camera so that you can see what I'm seeing here. Okay, this cutting has to start right here. Now, I don't know if you can see the flat, shiny face in here, but let me see if I can zoom in here for you. Yeah, see, when I cut this with this air tool, now I don't don't know if you can see it in the camera, but I intentionally cut low here, and there's a black line on the very top. I don't know if you can see that. I think you might be able to see the shiny part there. Okay, so it's shiny on the bottom but not on the top edge. There's a black line. You want to make that so that it's completely shiny right across the whole face. It doesn't take much to do it, and when you do that you end up with a flat face in the front here that gives you a nice cutting edge. Yeah, 3 or 4 of them usually do what we need here. So if the black line is on the top, then you raise the back of this up a little bit. If the black line is on the bottom, you got to lower this a little bit. But once you start cutting through there a number of times, you'll know right away whether you're getting that black edge off of there or not. And like I say, it works really well. Now when I sharpen these blades, I can usually sharpen a blade around 7 times. Where are we at here? I can sharpen a blade around 7 times before I have to worry about it breaking. The blade will actually break. Usually it breaks at the weld, sometimes other places, but it'll break on the 7th time that I sharpen. And it's not really because I'm grinding down into it too far or anything, because I'm not. But what's happening is the blade is just, you know, it's getting metal fatigue from running around the wheel. So sooner or later it just breaks. Yeah, that's good. Right here. Yeah. So when I'm running this file through here, I'm running the file straight up and down, but the angle, one of the sides are curved to make it be tight against the 10-degree angle. That's all I'm after there. I found out that these saw blades cut very well. The biggest thing is that you did not hit something and bend the blade out of whack or whatever, because that can cause trouble. So as long as you keep them tuned up a little bit like I'm doing right now, and this will cut for weeks, the blade, you know, the way I've been cutting, you'd be surprised. If you're going to cut steady, you could still cut all morning with a blade like this, just like a new blade, and then switch to a, you know, another blade if you want to after about 4 hours. But and that's, you know, ideal cutting with nothing in the way, no mistakes that you've hit anything. So I'm liking what it's doing. Very nice. Here's needs a little more grinding. When the sun's shining real bright, you can actually see a little bit of sliver going beyond the tooth point. That's the thing I want to take off there. Yep. Normally, my eyes right now are about this high. It's nice when you're looking straight into the tooth, okay? That's the better way to have this. My problem is, I have the saw head up all the way, and I had to put some dirt here the other day so that I could get into the kiln with the backhoe, because I had such a heavy weight on, and kind of goofs me up now. Okay. Now you could probably sharpen them with just the file. The problem with that is that it takes a while, and it already takes, you know, too long to sharpen the blade. It's a nuisance. So you sort of want to, you know, do something about getting the blade taken care of a lot quicker. So that's why I use this air tool. You want to be careful you're not hitting the point when you go from one to the other. You know, don't slip over the point, because if you knock the point off, the blade's going to be dull, and that's for certain. I wanted to get this log here cut because this white ash is really nice and I didn't want anything happen to it. At the same time, this morning I had to do spackling up at the house, so kind of had two jobs to do, and I'm not going to get this log cut today, but I will get it cut tomorrow. I just want to get this blade sharp, so. You can see there's not many sparklies coming off of this. So the metal's pretty hard yet, and it's good metal. It's just that I need to get it ground flat and smooth so it does a nice cut. You don't want something that's going to cut a lot of the metal. You just want something that's sharp, that's going to cut the metal, you know, a little bit just to shine it up. Here. I don't know if you can see that there, but right underneath my finger here you can see this whole thing is white or shiny looking. When the whole face is shiny like that, that's when you got a good job going. Now usually when I'm sharpening with the good air compressor, I can sharpen a blade in about 20 minutes, sometimes less. Sometimes it takes a little more, it depends on what you're doing. But the blades go pretty quickly. It's a lot better than sending them out and waiting however long it takes to get them back. Now I'm going to take about a ½ inch off of that. The cut is straight up here. It's not bad to here, but then when it gets in here, you can see I'm off the board there. There's a pretty good hump right here and here. So I want to get them out of there so I have a nice flat board. you can see how nice and close that is there. This knot still gives me a little bit of a offset, but it's not bad. The rest of this is nice and straight. So, and this happens sometimes in any kind of hardwood. Even pine, it doesn't matter because the knot part is a lot harder. Now, this isn't really a knot, it's the center of a branch that's coming out. I mean, it would be called a knot if it would have died here, but it didn't. It was living with the tree for quite a while. This beautiful wood here. Let me show you what this looks like. Very nice stuff. Okay, well, I'm going to be knocking off for today, and I'll cut this log tomorrow, so I'll finish the video tomorrow on it. If you have any questions about cutting, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, I'll try to answer them the best I can. Or I'm not cutting, but the sharpening of the blade. Have a good one.